now.
Okay, so now you have that. Go to your subtool palette, where the subtools are. Okay, you see how that subtool is now just a head?
Yeah.
Okay, so go up to the tool area, all the way to the top. I'm sorry, where you load a tool, save a tool. Okay, now go to export. Okay, it's going to spit it out as an OBJ, so name it and put it wherever you need.
Then what do I do? Do I exit?
You don't. I mean, if you want to bounce back and forth between the programs, just in case, you want to do something different, you can leave ZBrush open. Just minimize it.
Because I wanted to show you my other character really quickly, just to kind of find out what I should do with him. If it's
Okay.
let me just
Well, should we stay on track with
you
the
know
resurfacing?
yeah, no, no, no. I do want to
Okay.
stay on track with the resurfacing. I just wanted to kind of show you because my other character, since his face was kind of messed up,
Okay.
I actually extracted his face, and so his head is on a is its own layer.
Oh,
I was gonna ask, do I have to do the same steps though?
if the face is by itself, you should just have to export it out.
Oh,
If the head is connected to the body in some way, then yes, you would have to isolate just the head, just the face, or
okay,
sorry, just the head because you're doing the head
okay.
itself, and then
So
export it
okay,
out.
so with the head just as itself, for my other character, I kind of cut down the work a bit.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
already have that
uh,
one separated.
okay then. So now that I have my OBJ in here, right there, what's the next
Okay,
thing that I do?
open up Maya. And then you can either import. I'd probably go to import. Go to the options of import first.
Oh, I was gonna set the project
Okay.
or open. Do I hit new scene?
If
Does
I mean, you could if you want to just start fresh, and then you can either drag and drop or go to File Import. Okay, there it is. Okay. Now what I like to do is put that on a layer.
Okay.
Okay, now it's on a layer. Go ahead and hit the magnet up at the top. You'll see the set of magnets. So scroll over to the right. You'll see all those magnets. You'll see the last one where it says no live surface.
Is this it?
Yep, click on that.
Okay.
And then go to the modeling toolkit, which is all the way to the right underneath the channel box. And then you activate quad draw. So scroll down a little bit. There it is. And this is where you start drawing your topology.
So, wait, I just draw over this?
Yes, so if you click, you'll get a vertice, and then when you put 4 down, then you hold shift.
So I'm supposed to draw over the entire head, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And you're there to generate a more usable topology. So I would recommend following, since it's a human head, I would recommend following the reference that's in the example on FSO. That's a good wireframe. You can also find other references. We have some wireframe examples attached to FSO, or just you can do a simple Google search. As you can see, if you follow that point to point, it looks like the radial breaks around the other part of the eye.
What are you talking about?
Well, this is where, so if you look at the topology of the head that you brought in, that's Dynamesh topology, so it's not really built correctly. So this is your chance to build the right topology, the good topology, over the shape. So you don't have to worry about shape, you're only worried about making better topology. So I see that the reason I say that is it looks like you're following the topology that's there.
So how would I make it better?
Well, you'd want to look at some reference, kind of like the reference I was looking at in lecture. And if you go to FSO, there's a nice reference image right there in the assignment that shows the head topology. So under the resurfacing one, there you go. There it is. All right, shows you front and side. This is what the finished look is. But if you go up a little bit, that's a good topology for a human head. So you would put that topology, the one that's on the right, the good topology, you would put that on your your model.
I just don't know how to create that.
Well, just like what you're doing here, right? You have to take what you see in the image, and then if you hold shift, once you get 4 points, you hold shift and it actually makes the face. There you go, and click. Once you get it to the one you want, so go down to the one in the middle. There you go. And hold shift and click. And tap. There you go, you have a face. Make another face. So you go through, but you follow a different pattern than the actual model. You can move them around, you can delete.
So after I do this, what's the next step?
the next thing is going to be UVing it. You're going to UV the surface. And then you'll do normal maps. Or you generate maps and anything else you would need.
UVing. Oh. So, okay.
I'm actually downloading the recording for the last lecture, which was the UVing and normal map. September 19th. Download that. Right, so as you're doing this, you can do larger faces and then or smaller faces. You'll notice that when I did my topology, in some areas I made really big faces and then just added in. Because if you go too heavy, you're going to have a lot of clicking to go through. So yeah, that is downloading. Okay, but remember, it's always good to have that reference up so you're not flying blind per se. You're able to just follow. So if you bring up the picture on FSO next to your model, or sometimes you can bring it in as a reference image, you can see that there's a very specific pattern around the eyes, around the mouth, going from the brow up into the forehead. Right, so it's probably best to try and follow that. It'll make your life a little bit easier as you go through.
I just want to speed through this to see if I can get the UV, because, you know, I'm just not really, you know, understanding this. So,
If you keep a clean center line, you could mirror the topology over once you're done with half of the face.
oh.
Yeah, think about this like just another modeling tool. The same rules would apply to your process if you can simplify something and get the other side done with just a mirror or a duplication. That we're going to want to do that.
How do I undo this?
Well, you could use undo, or if you hold shift and control, you can delete the faces that you don't want. You'll see that if you hover over a face, right now you're on an edge, you hover over one of the faces, there you go, you can click on that and delete it. The other thing you can do is, just like regular topology, you would go into object mode and then select the faces you want gone and then delete those.
Why can't I delete the last one?
The object still needs to exist. So just like on a polygon surface, if you were to grab all the faces and hit delete, it's going to keep one. because that one face is needed for the object to exist, and that's the higher. So you have an object, and then you have the components of that object. So yeah, it's always going to want to keep the one. So you'd have to go into object mode to actually delete that last one.
Oh.
Yeah, you can build out the list like you do. There you go.
How do I connect edges?
If you hold shift, it should fill in.
Because all I get is the relax option.
Okay. You might need to zoom in. Oh, there it goes. Took a little bit. Sometimes you got to move that camera around. There you go.
What do I do after I get half the head. So after I get half the head done, what do I do next? Because I don't know how to mirror it over. Am I supposed to... Is it under mesh? Or edit mesh? Because still very lost. Um, I just kind of want to see if I could speed through the process. I think it's better just kind of have the work done, Mr. Scarcella.
Sorry about that. My mic was turned off by accident. Because I was actually talking to you, and I guess you weren't getting it. So basically, once it's like that, yeah, you go to mesh, and then you mirror it over, but you want to make sure you're in object mode first. So go to object mode. All right, get out of the quad draw tool. So hit your Q key. There you go. There you go. And now you can mirror that over. So ask you what direction. Negative X. Switch that to positive X. There it goes. Okay.
Do I just hit the return key?
You should be able to, yeah. You should be able to just click in your screen, and it's already done. There you go. Okay, so there is the full head.
Wait, why is it not? Can't.
Okay, it's already mirrored. There you go. So now we go to your layer, your channel box, and make sure that you hide the high res.
I was just trying to be quick about it because I just want to get this done and graded. I understand the quality is not too good. Where do I go to then?
Okay, so now you want to, you probably delete your history, just like type of topology.
Do I delete by type?
It wouldn't matter, either one. Either one will work in this case.
So what's the next thing to do?
The next thing is going to be to go through the UVing process. So you're going to go to UV.
Which one is it?
You're going to do a planar map.
Which one?
This is all going to be reminiscent of what we did in the last lecture. So the good thing is that lecture will be loaded here soon.
What is that? Editor or UV set editor?
Well, you can go to the UV editor. You want to bring that up.
Oh, I thought I didn't know.
And then you're going to hit planar map. And planar map. And the default should be okay. Well, looks like we want to change the direction on that. So undo that.
What do I do?
Go to planar map options.
X or Y?
Let's do Z. Z will be straight ahead. Okay.
What's the next step that I do?
Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is cut all your seams. So in class, I talked about cutting the seams. Probably be easier for this one just to go straight from wherever the hairline edge is all the way back to the neck. You're going to select the edges on the model and then cut.
Wait, why is it not? I don't understand.
So you're going to move that out of the way.
Move what?
The UV editor.
What, this?
The UV editor, just the entire window, because you want to use the model for the selection.
So I'm gonna go here.
Yes. And you're going to go wherever you think the forehead and hairline is, and you're going to go into edge mode and make a selection from there.
Do all modelers do this?
Yep.
Even if they're just modeling for themselves?
Well, if you're modeling for yourself, there's probably going to be a time where you're going to want a texture as well.
This doesn't go all the way around. Is it supposed to go all the way around?
What you're going to do, so if you look in the center line, the center of the model, the center line going down the front of the face, go up to the forehead, just past the hairline, where you think the hairline would be.
This is much easier to do on pencil and paper.
So you got to think the hairline's going to be just past the forehead, so you want to grab the edge. If you take your mouse exactly where you're at and bring it over to the left a little bit, the one in the center line. So when I'm talking about the center line, I'm talking about the edge that runs down the center of his face, through the center of the skull, and through the back. So grab, that's the one going across. There you go. But you don't want the ones running through the front of the face. You only want them to be from where you clicked to the back of the head.
Then what do I do?
Well, then you're going to make a cut. You're going to go into the UV editor. You're going to do a right click and cut. As far as this goes, you're going to end up cutting the whole front of the face separate. You want to be careful with that.
I thought I just... I don't know if I cut it.
Yeah, so in lecture, I talked about adding the texture border edges, turning those on. That might help out. So if you go into display in the main menu for Maya, polygons, and then over you'll see towards the bottom third, you'll see texture border edges.
It didn't do anything. Am I supposed to hit split now?
No. All right. There's something I think you might have hit cut earlier.
Yeah, so what do I do now?
Okay, so go ahead and select all your edges on the model, and we're going to do a let's see. The only ones you don't want to grab are the ones running around the bottom neck. Because what's going to happen, let's do an experiment because I want to see if this is what happened. Go ahead and select just the top half of the edges. Because if you do the next procedure with all of them, there you go. Grab like that. There we go. Now right click and go to Move and Sew. You should see sew, yeah, cut and sew, and then go to sew. Okay, so that's what I thought. So you've accidentally split all of the edges. So what you want to do is select everything but the edges that go around his neck, that bottom section of geometry.
Is that it?
You're probably going to want to look at the model to verify. You're going to want to move your camera and look underneath there.
I think it's alright. What do I then do?
Okay, so do another sew. So right click. We're kind of repeating the same process.
Okay, I just did that.
Okay. Now, you've still got some border edges, texture border edges showing up there. So you want to look on your model and select the edges, sew them, select them, sew them. So you see in his chin, you're going to want to make sure you get those because we need to make sure those are all closed up. Otherwise, the unfold tool will not work the way we need it to.
Do I just hit shift and select them?
You can. At this point, it doesn't really matter too much because you'll be able to just
okay.
kind of go through and.
Now that I have that, what's the next thing I do?
Next thing you'll do is you want to make that cut again. You want to do the cut from the forehead back to the back of the neck.
So do I click here?
Use the model for your selections. It's probably going to be better. It's a little bit easier to use the model. So select out in space. So you deselect all the edges you currently have selected. Okay, now up towards the top of the forehead. Click the middle line and then okay, so you can do it that way, but you want to make sure you deselect the edges in the front of his face, because you don't want those to be cut.
Wait, I don't understand what you mean.
We're getting ready to put a seam in the model, right? So think about all the UVing and texture seam work that you've done. So what we want to do is cut the edges, the UV edges, from a certain point to another point so we can unfold it, but we don't want a seam in the front of his face. So that's why you've selected the edges all the way down the middle of his head and his face. You want to deselect the ones in front of his face. So that way we only have the ones selected from the forehead to the back of his skull, back of his neck. There you go.
And what do I do now?
Now do a cut, another cut.
What does that do?
That's going to allow the tool to unfold the geometry.
I just hit the cut and it just made the line thick.
Okay, that means that it actually cut it.
Okay.
That's why we turned on texture border edges. That'll show us where we have seams open and where we don't, or where we've cut them and where we haven't. Okay, so you've cut the line. Now go ahead into UV mode.
What do you mean? I'm in UV mode, right?
You're in edge mode. So just like when you're switching from edge, vert, and face, you want to right click and go into UVs. There you go. Marquee select all the UVs, the entire piece.
Do I do it?
Yep, you got that. Now go to modify in the UV editor. Unfold at the bottom, go to the options. Oh, okay. Mesh has non-manifold geometry. Just hit fix. Let's just see what it'll do. Okay.
So I can't do anything until I fix it?
Well, let's see. Let's try it again. Grab all your vertices, or sorry, UVs.
I just want to be done with this. And I don't really know what else to do.
Well, we need to figure out a strategy that would allow you to make sense of what's happening in the lecture videos, because you can watch that over and over and over again and pause it step by step through it, reverse, kind of rewind if you needed to, and I think that would help. Because going fast, I know you want to do it fast, but going fast, it has created some bad geometry, which won't allow the next process to work properly. So we might have to go in and fix that. I thought that it would fix it just doing this, but it doesn't look like it did.
Bless you.
Oh, so thank you. That was actually somebody on their side. Nice. I already know. If you look at the average, usually we're about 75 or 76. 70. Each needs about a 74. 70. About a 72. So each body.
So what I do then is go to.
You gotta make sure you're in the quad draw, hit the Q key, or
Oh,
you gotta make sure you're in the object menu. There you go. So remember, deselect the edges in the front of the face up to the forehead. Now do a cut. Okay, now select your UVs.
Do I do that?
No. You've cut them, so go to your UVs. We only did this so because we had the accidental. But
Now what do I do?
now select your UVs. And then go to modify. It looks like we had one edge still connected, so go around and let's look around the back side of the model in the viewport. Interesting. It looks like it's right. Let's go back to unfold, select all your UVs.
Wait, I think I undid the cut.
Okay.
I think. Is this improper?
We'll go to keep everything selected, go to modify, and go to the options for the unfold tool. Unfold 3D, do iterations 5. Let's hit apply again. Yeah, there's something wrong with, I mean, it's doing it, but there's something connected on the backside that's not allowing the head to fully open up. Can you zoom into the UVs right on the backside of the head there? That little point, the sharp point. Unfortunately, I do have to leave in 5 minutes.
Oh.
That's right. For some reason, it's not registering. There's either a small face there right at that last point, or zoom into the back there. Zoom in, zoom in. I think I see it. Zoom in on the UV section. Yeah, there's a little tiny edge there left. There it is. You see in between those 2 points? Select that edge and cut it.
I just thought I cut it. Why is it not unfolding?
Oh, now you have to go and grab all your UVs again. Anytime you want to use any of those UV tools, you got to have the UV selection. Now try it. There you go. Much better. And then you just scale that all down to fit inside the 0 to 1 space, as taking up as much of the 0 to 1 space as you can.
Did I just select everything?
Yeah, everything's already selected, so that's good. Now you just activate scale. Inside 0 to 1.
What do I do now?
What do you mean?
Huh?
At this point, you would get into the UV layouts. Not UV layouts. I'm sorry. The baking process for your normal maps.
I forgot how to do that.
Okay. Well, the models. First thing is that the models need to be right on top of each other.
So, wait. Do I X out here?
Yeah, you're done with the UVs from this point.
So I just hit the X icon?
Mm-hmm. Now put the high-res head on top of the low-res head again. Which one did you move originally?
I just moved this one.
Okay.
I just moved
so
this.
The best thing to do would be to go to your channel box and zero it out. And just zero out, translate X.
What? Oh.
There you go. There you go. Just hit 0 and enter. Puts it right back where it needs to go. Okay?
All right.
Now, the geometry is a little bit off. So you'd want to either update that or let's see what we get. I think we're going to get some issues, though, with that other side because it doesn't quite fit the head.
How do I update?
One thing you can do is you can grab activate the quad draw tool again. And just go over and relax, hold shift, and start going over the points on the other side, and they will snap. They should snap. You see how they're snapping down? You just want them to snap down to there you go, to the model. If you want to cover a little bit more ground, turn on soft select, which is the B key. There you go, okay. Rotate you around the back side there, rotate your camera. Up the side there. Okay, so hit the bottom as well if it'll do it. Okay, we don't need to worry about that anyway. Good. Looks like it's fitting better. Okay. Now switch your menus to rendering. So right now you're in Polygon, you're in modeling. So I'll put that over.
Where do I go to?
There should be a drop down all the way to the left upper corner that says modeling, and then you'll drop that down to rendering. I can't really see your screen. It looks like I might have moved mine a little bit. Let me see. Yep, you see over there under File and Edit, you'll see Modeling. Over Rendering, then go to Lighting and Shading in the main menu.
Here?
Yep, and then Transfer Maps. Okay, so you want to make sure you're in object mode again. You still have the quad draw up. we go. And then add selected under target mesh in the transfer maps window. So at the top. There you go, add selected. Now, you're going to want to select the source mesh. Don't worry about any of that. That should be good. So go ahead and remember that magnet that we clicked on earlier? Let's go ahead and turn that off. Okay, now select the high res, which is your sculpture head. Go to source meshes, just under target mesh. See source meshes to the left. There you go, drop that down, hit add selected. Okay, scroll down to normal maps. Where it says output maps, click normal. Change that map from a DDS to a TIFF. This is what I do in class. Okay, tangent space normals is good. Pay attention to where it's going. It's going to the desktop. It's going to CA3. Right, that's where it's going to be putting that image.
Okay.
Okay. Scroll down to Maya common outputs. Change that to map width 2048. Okay. Go to sample quality, click on medium. It says low. I'm going to turn that to medium. Filter size should be fine. And hit bake.
How long does that usually take?
Shouldn't take more than a minute or two.
Oh, alright. So I just clicked on the bake icon.
Yeah, you wait until that button looks regular again, and then we'll go from there. And then, like I said, unfortunately, I do have to go.
Okay, then.
But I did upload the video. It is on FSO and the archive links.
So the final process is in your,
Well, we're going to have lecture tomorrow, which I'll talk about bringing everything back together in Maya.
So if I wanted to, I'm technically caught up. Am I caught up?
Well, you're going to do the same process for the other head, and then if you have that both done, and all you have is hair left to sculpt, yeah, you should be good. Just model the ear. There's a video that you can follow that walks you through modeling an ear, a human ear.
Do I have to do it in Maya or ZBrush?
It is a Maya build. It's to kind of keep everybody modeling in Maya. But let's see what you got. It looks like your bake is done.
Do I just hit this?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can close that out. Turn off the high-res head. So we have that layer. Turn that layer off. And then hit the 6 key. Okay, there it is. Now, the reason it's all faceted, and you can see all the geometry of the high-res, is because we didn't soften the normals on the high-res. So you would want to soften normals on both surfaces, and then you can just, your settings are already set up, so you just bake it again.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You see how we can see all the faceting in the geometry on the one there? It kind of looks like all the hardened normals.
I think so.
Just do me a favor. Go ahead and bring back the high res. Select them both assets. Okay. Hold Shift and right click.
Command.
Oops, no, I think you templated them. Undo that.
I said Command Z.
Okay.
I don't see them anymore. Sculpting on group perspective.
I think you turned on sculpture mode. There they are. Why are they over that way?
So what happened?
It's in sculpture mode, so hit the
But
1 key again, and hit. I don't know why that one's way over there. Hit the Q key for me. Okay. Why is that one way up there and this one's way down there? All right, which one is where it's supposed to be? So we need the other one to be there. It looks like the low res moved. Go ahead and click on your low res, the one with the normal map on it.
okay.
I don't know why it's over there. Put it back on top of the other head. I'll get it as close as possible.
Now what do I do? I thought I
Okay.
only bake it once.
Well, because we forgot that step of softening the normals, you go ahead and go back to your lighting and shading, transfer maps, and just click bake again.
Lighting, shading, transfer map. So basically I repeat the steps.
Mhm.
And then I just save it.
Yep.
I save the Maya file, correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So since I just have to do it again, I probably have to do it twice for my second character.
Well, what you can do so you don't have to do it twice is just remember to soften the normals on the low res and the high res before baking the map.
Wait. Remember to set high res and low res?
So your sculpture head and the resurfaced geometry.
So wait, it has to look like this? Is that what you're saying?
Like what?
Wait, you said that in order to avoid baking twice, I have to do...
Oh, yeah, I don't think we did soften the normal. So go ahead and select both meshes. I think we were going to do that, and then we accidentally hit a button.
So now that I have them both selected, what do
So
I do?
hold shift, right click.
Wait, before I go ahead and... So, I need to set up the this isn't, that's not right. I could have sworn it was in my, I can't seem to find my, oh.
You what?
Oh, I got it. So it's, so it's shift right click, and then where do I go to?
Soften and harden edges, and then soften edge at the top.
Here?
Okay, now that they're both that way, go ahead and deselect the meshes and rebake your maps. But I'm going to have to leave you to do that because I do have to run.
So I go to lighting and shading, and I go transfer maps.
Yep, and just go right down to the bottom. Just hit bake. Oh, well, wait, your source mesh. Let's double check your source mesh up top. Do the drop down for source mesh.
Is it? Do I gotta click here?
Yep. And just make sure that the high res is there. It is. So just hit bake. At the bottom.
Hit this.
There you go.
And
once
then,
that bakes, it should be good to go.
Okay, then thank you.
No problem. But like I said, I do have to run. If you have any questions, the video is up, so you can focus in on that normal mapping section or UV section if you forget what to do for the other assets. Okay.
So if I model ears, I could just use those ears for both characters, right?
You can, but you don't need to have them attached to the characters. We just want you to model an ear.
Okay, because my other character, since his mask, his cowl kind of covers his ears, do I need to give him ears?
Nope.
Okay.
You don't have to give either character ears. You just have to model an ear by itself, a human ear by itself.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So since I think the process went through. What do I do now?
Hide your high res. There it is. There's the normal map low res.
And I could just exit out and save this?
Yep.
Okay, then. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, and I will talk to you or see you tomorrow.
Excellent. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye.
And commencing in 3, 2, 1.
That's a nice teacher. He should have been off the computer 15 minutes ago. He said, I only got 5 minutes.